notifications to come
I'm
in.
like a little
All right, let me find.
very hydrated.
You're very
Like,
hydrated.
I might have to run out of here. Like,
and that's okay too. That's all right.
wait.
That's okay.
Okay, you can see most of my shirt. Last time I wore this, I couldn't.
That's so
You
nice.
couldn't
I'm about to
see.
say how
It's
nice
from
it was
Target.
too. Really?
Yeah, from
Oh.
last year. Look,
Oh, okay.
I got me and Layla one.
From their last what you call it?
Mm-hmm.
Am I live right now? Wait.
It says,
Girl. Hold on. Oh, there we go. There we go.
"Hi."
Woo! Hi, Antoinette. Tony is here. Hi, D.M.A. Hey, Angela. Hi, honey. Hi, Chanel. Hi, Nakima. All right. Okay. This is so weird because it's not saying that I'm live. Y'all, we had some technical issues.
But we're here.
But we made it. We here. Where is my thing at? Hey, Amelia. Everybody, this is my wonderful friend, Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley Burton-Mims.
Ashley Burton-Mims, y'all. And we talking burnout tonight, which I'm sure many of us can relate to. Many. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes because what you up to? This on here chilling.
Sorry,
Ashley.
Antoinette. That's true. Are you going to be at the house tomorrow?
She said it's crazy
It's
work.
crazy work.
She came in here to let you know on the live.
I know.
Like, how dare you?
Calling me out, as you should. Yes. Okay. I'm going to be there tomorrow.
Hi, Angela. Okay. Does it say I'm live? Oh, there we go. Okay. It finally popped up. Jeez. All right. Hold on.
Yay.
Give me a second, y'all. I'm just trying to get this shared out because the live I created earlier didn't work. It's just been a mess, but it's fine. We're going to get it together. But y'all, we're talking burnout. Tony, don't do that in here. Play nice. All right, hold on.
I could take it. It's totally fair. It was a semi last minute trip. This is supposed to be virtual.
This was. So that's how I knew that she was here. Yeah.
So we switched it up a little bit.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that you're here. It's been nice having you.
That's true too, Antoinette.
There go my mama. Hey, mama.
Listen, big hugs to you tomorrow.
Mama, I can't. You don't even come to my lives. My mama is here in my life. Was you here? You know that?
Hi.
I'm just playing.
This Shirley?
Shirley Girl Boutique. Yeah, her name is Denise.
Hi,
I'm just
Miss
playing,
Shirley.
Mama. I'm just
or
playing.
Miss Denise.
Mama, I'm just kidding with you. She supports me all the time, but I ain't seen you in a minute. Is all I'm saying. I also ain't been on YouTube in a minute. So that's on me, right? All right. Hold on, y'all. 1 second. I promise we're about to get started in a minute. We're about to get in. You know what? Do you want to tell them like the definition of burnout?
Absolutely.
Okay, y'all. So for anybody that does not understand what the definition of burnout is, she's about to give y'all that definition so that you understand.
Yes,
exactly
and this is not Ashley's definition. This is the textbook definition, but also like pop it in the chat what you think the definition is, and we can engage about that. So burnout, by definition, is a state of physical and emotional exhaustion. It can occur when you experience long-term stress in your job, or when you have worked in a physically or emotionally draining role for a long time. So I know this says job, but that sounds like life to me more than a job. Especially as women, we wear so many hats. So mom, sister, friend, lover, cousin, auntie, all the things. So sometimes we forget to check in on ourselves. Sometimes we forget to prioritize ourselves, and that could lead to burnout. So I'd love to hear from you guys what you think burnout is, or if you relate to that definition of burnout.
I'll play nice and everyone starts playing with my emotions. Hey, mama. And give the live a thumbs up, please. Tashay, I'm at work, but I'm listening. Okay, thank you so much. We appreciate you being here.
Yes.
So what do you think your definition of burnout? Does that sound familiar to you guys? Is there anybody that would define it differently? Discussing burnout.
Oh, yes. Speak on that, Sheila. That part.
Going through grief. Let me physically and emotionally burned out.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Caretaker burnout is real. Mm-hmm. I think that's something we definitely don't talk about enough, especially being in kind of that sandwich generation where our parents but also some of our parents are aging. We are parents ourselves, and some of our parents are aging. Hi, Emmanuel. Hope I said your name right.
Wait, is this the right video? I'll give them the right link. Okay.
Melissa's so spot on.
Yes.
But yeah, I love, Sheila, that's one, I'm sorry that you've gone through that, because that's heartbreaking to hear. But yeah, I think that's a great point to talk about burnout and the tie to grieving.
Well, that's a good way to describe burnout as well. Having 3 teenagers is burnout for me sometimes. And that's real though. I think that it's so hard sometimes to just admit like the feeling of being overwhelmed with parenthood.
Yeah, because it's a lot, and it's sometimes thankless. I do love the hugs and emotion, but I can't pour back into myself sometimes, or I've had a hard time pouring back into myself. As a mom, as somebody who's worked for major corporations as well, trying to figure out how to do all the things. We're not meant to do all the things.
No, we're not. And also too, let me share that we didn't say this, that Ashley is a burnout coach, y'all. Like this is like, she's an expert at this, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I loved her coming on here, because I feel like burnout is something, there wasn't a word for it for a long time. Is burnout like a fairly new term? Or not? Or
I think it's become more popular. I think since COVID, it's been talked about a lot more. I think that time period gave us time to slow down a little bit and fall apart a lot. And people are realizing like, dang, can I cuss?
Yes.
Okay. I'll try not to say like the bad ones.
Okay.
But yeah. But like, damn, I really need a break. And how do I get that? And what does that look like? Because this is heavy. This is way too much. This is more than I ever imagined. So I think, especially as women, we bore such a big burden that people are recognizing more and more what burnout is, and that they are in it, or they would love to figure out how to prevent it.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Thank you so much for donating to the channel. And Antoinette, you're so sweet.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I need Ashley in my life. Well, I'm telling you,
I'm here.
This is what she does. She specializes in this, and can I ask you, maybe you've experienced burnout multiple times in your life, but can you tell us about a time when you can identify like what it felt like, what the buildup was? Like, when did you know that you were burned out? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did your life change? Like, what was going on with you?
Everything. So some of the people who are on here was with me on this journey. One, I love the way you asked the question, because I didn't recognize that I was burned out. I remember it was the summer of 2023. I was at Zora's house. I was in a toxic work environment. I was going through a breakup. I thought that I was like building my dream home and all these things were happening. And I remember one of the fellows saying like, girl, you need to take a leave of absence. And I'm like, what? Why do I need to do that? And I was also surprised, Rhonda, because I was suffering in silence. Like I didn't know it was very visible that I was completely burned out and that I needed to make a change. And I didn't. This was maybe June or July. And I just kept going. And I really had physical symptoms. One day I woke up, I couldn't even walk. Like my hip hurt so bad. I actually went to Zora's house that day too. And I'm like in there limping and stuff. And yeah. And Christina's like, you need to stretch. You need to do these move your body and things like that. And I was just like, oh, okay, like I'll do that thing. But I really was neglecting my health. I wasn't sleeping very well. It was just a lot, but I didn't recognize it in myself. It took someone else to say something to me. And it still took months before I even slowed down enough to acknowledge that I was burned out.
What did the person say? Do you remember what they said?
She literally said, you need to take a leave of absence from work. This is a benefit you have at your job. I know that you have it and you need to act. I thought she was crazy, Rhonda. I was like, why do I need to stop working? That's silly. Like, why would I do that? And she was so right. And I hope that nobody gets to that place where you need to literally take a break from your life and your livelihood. So what my business focus on and what I focus on is burnout prevention and just how can we not get to that place where we're completely burned out? I'll share a little bit more. So I did take the time off, November 1st is when I started. And I was like, oh, well, I know my job is toxic. I'll like apply for jobs while I'm on this leave. And I'll like start my own business and I'll do all these things. And I did none of those things. I cried a lot. I fell apart a lot. I was at ZH a lot because the women there really poured into me, but it gave me clarity on what I didn't want and lots of therapy. I think I've seen my therapist like once a week at that point. But like, how do I get out of this and how do I not get back into this place? So one of the things that I jokingly share is like, what I used to get up, get dressed before my daughter, take her to school, and then my day was starting. And my day didn't really end till like 11 p.m. That's not sustainable.
Right.
Now it's like, well, she's a little bit older too. I'm like, oh, okay, it's time for school. Okay, I roll out the bed. Whatever I went to sleep on, I put my coat on, put my boots on. I'm crusty as hell. And we're going to school. And then I get back home and I either take a nap, I make myself breakfast, but I make sure I do something for myself before I put myself out into the world and when the world starts to combat me. So that's one of the things that I chose to do to maintain more balance and just combat burnout. So that's one of the main things I did. The other thing was like, I need to create this exit plan out of this toxic work environment because this also is killing me. There's only but so many boundaries I can put into place.
That's true.
In corporate America. But I put all of them in there. I was like, I'm not working past this time. I'm not doing no extra stuff. Like my work, even if I did the bare minimum, probably was someone else's A+ work.
Right.
So I had to have that real heart-to-heart conversation with myself too. Like, I'm doing too much. As a Black woman, we are overeducated, overqualified, and when we show up and show out. And that's exhausting.
It is very exhausting. Just really quick, I'm looking to see if you have questions, please make sure to drop it in the chat. My mom says, does missing you count as burnout? I mean, it could, I guess it could burn you out emotionally, I guess, you know, do you think that's possible? Is that possible?
Sure.
I mean, everybody is different. So, I mean, yeah.
If it's weighing heavy on your mind all the time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
it could.
But I can give you some signs.
Yeah. So can we get some signs of burnout? Heaven, you haven't missed a whole lot. No, we've only been live for 12 minutes. So Ashley, this is Ashley, my friend Ashley Burton-Mims. She is a burnout coach. And while she's here, because she doesn't live here anymore, but we were planning to go live anyway. We were going to be virtual, but I'm glad that she's here. But she is a burnout coach. So I wanted her to talk about burnout in general, and just talk, you know, it's just, I feel like I've never had a conversation about burnout before. I just haven't. I've talked about it more because I met you. Yes. But I don't think that I've talked about it enough and really understood certain things.
And I love that you mentioned that because I don't feel like we are talking about it enough. Yeah. I know for me, it was like this big aha moment, like, oh shoot, I didn't think of it as burnout. And I definitely was suffering in silence. I was showing up and not wanting to make myself a burden on anyone. Right. I was definitely pushing down and denying some of those feelings that I was having. So it's something that I could talk about all day, every day at this point, because I don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. And the more that I talk about it, the more I realize we all need to continue to talk about this. And there are so many of us, especially as Black women, who are burned out and don't have some of those support systems in place or tools in place to combat it. Yep,
absolutely. And then let's see.
Hi, Heaven.
Let's see, Amelia, package by first class train. Hey, I said, hey, Heaven. Sheila said, as women, it's hard to admit you're burnt out because we're always expected to be so strong, 100%. Antoine had a really good question. Do you talk about how burnout can force some loneliness, like feeling like a burden on others? That is a great question because that is true. It's really easy to isolate, I feel like, too.
It is, because you don't want.
Yeah, it's easy to isolate.
Yes, because you do feel like a burden. And one of the things that I love about one of the offerings that I have, not to like sound too businessy, is the wellness workshops. So being in a community and understanding that you're not going through burnout alone. And most of us have experienced it or are currently experiencing it. So I love that, Antoinette. I love that question. And you are not a burden on others. But yeah, society can make us feel that way. And when we're not engaging in community, we definitely can feel that way.
For sure. Because it's just not easy. Like if you don't have I feel like like having community, because I have community now, like just thinking about like, I don't want to just wear, you know, my partner out, my mom out with the same things. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to, you just have to, I feel like sometimes I want to talk to multiple people. Like, even though I feel like that you know, they'll be open to listen to me. Sometimes you just feel like you want to just talk to other people sometimes, you know what I mean? And yeah, I understand that like feeling like a burden is a lot. Can you give us some signs of burnout?
Absolutely. So I'm going to read off my notes. So if I'm looking over here, hopefully it's not too weird. But I'll share with you, like one of the signs that I noticed was having less patience. So I remember working on a project at work, and it was really fun project. We were like revamping a tool. That's like one of the things that I love to do, just nerd out. If some of you know, like I used to be more in a more analytical role. So Excel super user. So anyway, we're building this new tool and we're working with someone who we don't normally work with. And I was like, he is so slow and so annoying. And every time we're meeting, I was just like, what is with this guy? Like, and I'm so thankful that I never like was not nice to him, but I wanted to be nasty. I was like, you know what? That's not really in my character. Like something's up. And I just had a lot less patience with things that I normally have patience for. So that was one of the signs for me. But I'll read off some of the signs for you guys. So one is like feeling like every day at work is a bad day. And just to clarify, burnout is not just about work, but some of these details are geared a little bit more towards the workplace, just because that's where we spend most of our time. Feeling exhausted much of the time, feeling no joy or interest in your work, or even feeling depressed by it, feeling overwhelmed by your responsibilities, engaging in escapist behavior, such as excessive drinking, having less patience with others than you used to, feeling hopeless about your life or work. And this last one, I'm going to highlight and say, like, you know, make sure you definitely seek medical attention if you're experiencing any of these things. But there are physical symptoms such as chest pain, shortness of breath, sleeplessness, or heart palpitations. Now, I will say, just to share a little bit more candidly about the health impact, I definitely experience a lot of health impacts, and I would go to the doctor and they'd be like, yeah, we don't know what the root cause of this is. We don't know what's going on. And that can feel really defeating.
It can, like, if you're not getting answers.
Yeah, it's like, I understand that something's wrong with my body, but how come you're not seeing that something's wrong? And it took several doctor's appointments, several times around before somebody said, well, hey, could this be stress related? And that was helpful. I've definitely noticed a huge difference in my physical health. I also have anxious person, anxiety, I have PCOS, but I've definitely noticed a decrease in some of the symptoms that I've experienced with those. My hip definitely feels a lot better. But I'm starting to notice more when my body starts to feel not so great because of stress.
Yep.
Hi, Charisma.
Hi, Charisma.
And hi, Rue, if she's there.
Hi, Rue.
Give her big hugs and
cutie
kisses.
Pie. As for me, I feel like a burden if I say how I'm feeling burnt out. Family and friends say that they are there, but I just suffer in silence. For somebody, okay, so if somebody feels like they're suffering in silence, they've been isolated, how do you start the conversation to talk about being burnt out? You know what I mean? Yeah. Because I think it just feels like so much, because at that point, when you can identify verbally, like I'm burnt out, it just feels like you're delivering so much so fast to one person, you know? And that can feel like overwhelming. And I think we think about that and we're like, you know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing. I'm not even gonna say nothing. Like, because it's a lot.
It is a lot. And that's such a good question. I think for me, the best advice I could give is having, if you do, like that one trusted person or friend in your life, if not your therapist, just because they're equipped and they have the capacity for that, because that's what we're talking about. Like the people in our life don't necessarily have the tools or the capacity to show up in the way that we really need them to, to support us. And then there's like a breach of trust in that. And so I don't want to steer anybody the wrong way. But I would definitely say consult a therapist or a burnout coach in times like that.
Yeah, no, that's great. And so you mentioned a second ago that somebody told you need to take a leave of absence and you eventually did because you were burned out. You had physical things going on. Your patience was low. So when you finally took that leave of absence, how long would you say it took you to recover from your burnout?
Not as longer than the leave of absence. Like, if I'm going to be completely honest.
Okay.
So I think I ended up taking 10 weeks. And by week 9 is when I started to feel better. And I can say, like, I definitely was extremely burned out. But that time was needed and beautiful because I didn't have to worry about the responsibility of work.
Yeah.
So if I needed to drop my kid off at school and literally have a breakdown, I'd have that, or I have a breakdown and she's there. You can't control that part. Right. But I would say it took me a good amount of time to start feeling more like myself.
Yeah.
So there's some ways that I went about it. So one was definitely setting a new routine and setting better boundaries at work when I did go back to work. And then being really honest with myself about what I needed and being a lot more unapologetic about asking for help and asking for what I need.
Oh, that's a good one right there. It's hard to ask for help.
It's
like
so hard.
Even outside of like beyond our trusted friends and family, just like at work, like, hey, I may need to modify my workload or I may need to whatever. And obviously, like, you may have to have a doctor's note or doctors involved in that. And that's fine. But saying that like something needs to change, because I want to say this and make it very clear, even without you telling me, yes, we all know that this, but I'm gonna say it out loud. Y'all, burnout can kill you.
Yes.
Like, you can no longer be here because of this. I believe that there are people that experience things they sometimes don't return from because it's gone so far, right? So I just want to make it very clear, y'all, that I'm sure we all have experienced burnout, maybe in it right now, maybe the onset of it is happening. And that's why I thought it was really important for us to have this conversation, because our plates are just full all the damn time, overflowing. And I just want us all to be here. You know what I'm saying? And have a good quality of life. Burnout affects your quality of life as well. And I just want, I don't want that for any of us. Let's see. Hi, ladies. I'm actually in the, hey, Haven. I'm actually in the first week of recovery from burnout and starting to feel better. Good. I'm happy to hear that. Exactly. That's why I should seek therapy. Thank you, Ashley. Yes, Tricia, I encourage you to get therapy. Be gentle and patient with yourself. You may have to make some adjustments to your therapist. Like, you may not like the first person that you meet, or you might love them. You might, but be patient with yourself, because it can be a process, and it can be frustrating too. Wait for people to get back to you, telling you trying to figure out a schedule and all of that. But therapy is a great tool, I think.
Absolutely.
Let's see. I'm curious. How do you set boundaries at work? If you don't mind me asking, Ashley, how do you set boundaries?
I love that. So I'm going to be real transparent. I set the best ones that I could. So one was definitely like more self-imposed. So I used to start my day, like, as soon as I dropped my daughter off, I started around like 10 o'clock after that, because I looked at my calendar like, oh, okay, I didn't really have any meetings. And am I a super user at work already? Yes. Like, how can I stop putting so much pressure on myself? So that was my experience. So one of them was really looking at my calendar and being honest about the amount of effort I was giving to an organization. It just wasn't going to fly. And guess what? I didn't get fired. I didn't have somebody pull me aside and say, hey, you're not productive or anything like that. But it made it such a big difference in my life. So really respecting my time was a big one. Another one was, if you have a safe space with your manager, letting them know, hey, I'm coming back to work. For me, it was, I'm not going to be in any meetings before this time. I'm not going to, I'm going to take my lunch break. Like, there are different ways that I went about it. And we can talk more offline and strategize for some boundaries that you could set for your workplace. But I don't want to go like too into depth detail, because I don't know exactly what you do and like what that autonomy looks like for you.
Yeah, that was really good. Hopefully that answers your question or gives you a little more information, Heaven. And just a couple things I wanted to.
Yes.
Let's see who we got. So yes, Alicia said that she hired. So Honey hired an administrative assistant today. She's already helped so much. Good. Yes. That is so helpful. I would imagine that that's going to really change things for you at work. I've experienced burnout 2 other times throughout my life. Sometimes it takes several months for me to feel better. Absolutely. Hey, Melinda, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the live. Hey, Liz, what's up? We're coming over here deep. Hey, Gina, what's going on? Hey, Felicia. Hey, Maria. Hey, we're here from Tasha and Fal's page. Welcome. Tasha and Fallon sent us here. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Honey Butter. What's up, Queen T? Welcome, everybody. So I'm Rhonda, and this is my friend Ashley.
Hi.
This is Ashley Burton-Mims. Y'all, she is a burnout coach. And when I found out she was a burnout coach, I was so fascinated because we don't talk about burnout enough. So we've defined burnout. Ashley has told us, explained the time and shared when she felt burnt out. She had to take a leave of absence. She talked about the signs of burnout as well, and just mentioned how long it took for her to recover from burnout. And it's not a one-time thing. It can happen multiple times in your life. I need to change my career, but I don't want to go back to school. You don't necessarily have to. I mean, not necessarily. I'm sure you have plenty of skills. I think that there's also a great opportunity to, a lot of our skills are transferable, is what I'm saying. So, really sit down and think about what you've been doing and really iron out and come up with your skills that you have. Like, give yourself credit for that. I'm just getting here. What's burnout? Do you mind defining burnout for us one more time?
Absolutely.
So if you can't give the live a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. Oh, and also, I am desperately needing help. I saw the comment. I took a picture because I didn't want it to go up. Because sometimes you can't scroll down. Oh. And I hate that. I'm telling you, there's so much going on. Okay, so what did she say? She said that she was okay. I hear you and keep going and burning feeling. Is it going to let me? That was Antoinette about needing help in her life and just like being patient. Is that what you said? It went by so fast and now I can't see the comment.
Did. But Antoinette, we could talk more about that offline because you also bring up a great point about being an entrepreneur and being burned out. Absolutely. So as I've gotten my business up and running, I'm realizing there's a big need for entrepreneurs. With a Burnout Coach, someone who's not here, so I won't mention their name, has made some really impactful changes in their business in a really short term. So there's small changes that you can make that will give you this big relief. One of them is that admin assistant. So kudos to whoever posted that.
That was Alicia. She posted it. Yeah, so
it makes such a big difference. So I'll share briefly. The person that I'm talking about hired an admin assistant, and that admin assistant was able to put some guardrails in place. So when we talk about boundaries, guardrails in place. So now they're, instead of working 7 days a week, I think they're down to working like a regular 5 days a week. And on Fridays, they have like their own protected time. That admin assistant made it so they only have meetings on 2 days a week. And they're getting a ton of contracts. They're getting a ton of business. So sometimes it does take another expert to step in and help us set that boundary or that guardrail. We're just too, we might have a little bit of blinders on it and we're not able to see that perspective a little bit differently. Yeah. And then someone asked what burnout is. So I'm going to read the definition to you, and feel free in the chat to put in what you think burnout is, what your definition is. There's no wrong answer. So burnout, according to, it's not dictionary.com, but I like when people say that sometimes. It's a little silly, but burnout is a state of physical and emotional exhaustion. It can occur when you experience long-term stress in your job or when you have worked in a physically or emotionally draining role for a long time. So we talked about, and I didn't say it in this way, but that Black superwoman syndrome, right? Where we're wearing that cape. We're wearing all these hats, especially as Black women. We're mom, we're sister, we're daughter, we're friend, we're cousin, we're everything. So especially when we're trying to do all those things for other folks, we sometimes lose sight of doing things for ourselves. And when that happens, we experience burnout. And burnout has, like Rhonda said, this long lasting, it can have this long lasting, even fetal impact on our life.
Oh, I'm listening to you. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
No. I'm reading.
Oh, okay. And then shout out to, hey, Fallon. Charisma said, I've also been getting more comfortable with paying for outside services to get things off my plate. Laundry is a huge, that is smart. I mean, laundry, you can get someone to, if you want to do meal prep, if you want to get meals prepped for you every now and then. There's just a ton of things you can outsource, y'all. Like, think about that. If you're able to move things around in your budget, maybe you have to cancel some subscriptions. You know what I'm saying? So that you can help yourself bounce back from out of burnout, you know, just overextending yourself. Hey, Crystal.
We can put this in the chat too, the definition, if that's
Yes.
helpful.
Yes.
And Charisma, you're not to put all your business out there, but as a new mom, I'm so proud of you. It's so worth it. When I became a new mom, I started ordering my groceries because I lived in New York at the time, and going to the grocery store with a baby and somehow getting your groceries home was really hard. So that's one of the things that I did, and it didn't really cost me more, but it saved a ton of time, and it saved an emotional toll of like, how am I going to get my sweet little baby into the grocery cart and carry all these groceries in the house? It was definitely worth it.
Yeah, I mean, that makes so much sense. Stress in your job. Anybody else have any other questions? She has helped mentally be able to live in a clean house.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing that we can just chat on really quickly, Rhonda, is those invisible burdens that, you know, that people don't see. Yeah. Please. So like cleaning up our house, doing laundry, like some of those almost like thankless things that keep our households running, whether we're single or a parent. Those things are hard and just like thankless, and we don't really get some of the support and recognition that we need to feel like, okay, this is one thing that I don't have to think about or worry about anymore. Yeah. So outsourcing them is definitely a great.
I can't really put the definition in here because it's like too long.
Yeah. So what I did want to talk about really quickly, Rhonda, is the different types of rest, because I think one of the bigger things, boundaries definitely is one of them, but one of the bigger things is understanding what type of rest we can take and how some of those things are actually small and doable changes you could start today. So I know for me, when I think of rest, I was like, oh, but I don't want to take a nap. Sometimes I'm too anxious to take a nap. I have like 25 things that I'm thinking about, and it's not restful in that moment. So like, what else could I do that's resting? That's, yes, self-care, but we're going to frame it up as rest. So one is physical rest, like I just talked about. So that's sleeping, yoga, stretching. Another rest is sensory rest. So especially right now I love that we're on YouTube Live, but with all the things going on in the political climate, sometimes we need to unplug from our electronics. So that's sensory rest. A mental rest, taking 2-hour breaks throughout your workday. So I know I have an Apple Watch. It tells me to stand every hour. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I stood. Oh, you can't see my arm, but I'm like shaking my wrist. But no, taking that break to stand for or go to the restroom, do a bio break or something just to break up your day. Go for a walk if it's nice outside. Just taking that time to rest. Emotional rest. So this is one that resonates with me, and Rhonda and I have talked about this in the past. It cut back on people pleasing and being authentic. It is exhausting being a people pleaser. It is. I loved when I did the research to understand like, oh, that's why I was tired sometimes, or a lot of times is like exerting so much energy in that people pleasing. Social rest, spending time with friends that make you feel good. Zora's house is definitely that place for me. I love connecting with the women there, connecting with my friends. I talk to one of my friends almost every morning after I drop my kids off at school, and it doesn't maybe seem like rest when somebody else is observing, but that's rest for me. Like that's secret space. That's time that I get to truly pour into myself, and she gives me energy, and we talk shit.
Yeah, right. You get to laugh, you get to unwind.
Yes,
right.
So creative rest. So listening to music, painting, drawing, going out in nature. I'm not great at karaoke. Like you're probably never going to see me maybe like as a background singer, but I love music and I love to sing. So one of the types of rest for me is like being in the car, just jamming, singing my heart out to whatever song. I know recently I went to the grocery store and they were playing like Toni Braxton and Heather Headley. It was like, oh, I forgot about some of these songs.
Right.
I got straight into my car, was jamming, parked in front of the house, stayed in the car, and was just having a great time. and then spiritual rest, so meditating and praying. So hopefully I didn't talk through that too fast, but I'd love to hear in the chat like what you like, what types of rest you like, or what types of rest that you heard today that you can start to implement.
Hello, everybody that came in. I'm sorry if I missed anybody. I saw you, Chef Clarice. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you hanging out in here. Antoinette said a weighted blanket, amazing hug. A weighted blanket, yes. No, yes. That is a great investment.
Yes,
that helps you with your nervous system, y'all.
And there's also this thing called a hug. I'm going to call it the wrong thing. And for people who don't like to be restricted, don't get this, but for the rest of us, it's like a hug blanket. So you literally like pull it on, and it comes in different sizes, and there's like a hood, and you could just go to sleep like that. Yeah. Yes, I need to be soothed as well.
Yes, Charisma said, parents, if I can recommend implementing quiet time. Yes, I have definitely unplugged for an afternoon. Goal is a whole day. Kiera said, this is right on time. As someone dealing with so many transitions happening in the workplace, as a federal employee, oh my goodness, I can only imagine the things that federal employees are navigating. I was thinking about outsourcing maybe some meal prep. Yes, absolutely. I'm 5'2", and my mother always had quiet time. I enjoy it to this day. Nice. Definitely just be mindful of more self-care these days too. Yes. I just started a new job in November, and it's already exhausting me. I switched to a different company, and the grass wasn't greener over there.
Oh no.
It's already burning me out. Oof. Any suggestions for somebody that's experiencing that at a new job, in a new environment?
That's happened to me. And it's also recognizing that things are within your control. And I know that might sound like something small, but it is. It's like, where can you still find some pockets of joy? And then like you were talking about the transferable skills, like how can you start to carve out some time, maybe 30 minutes an evening, to start to look at what are some of your transferable skills, to start to, I don't want to recommend necessarily look for a new job, but like start to build up on that and like looking in your network. But we could talk more offline too, because I also don't want to give like a blanket response to that, because that is, that's a lot and that's hard, especially when you make that big leap to leave 100%. A company that you've already been at.
I just realized I fall asleep with my hands underneath my legs. Self-swaddle? Sure. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. I get a 20 to 30 pound blanket. It's a game changer. I already know. Alan said, I don't own a weighted blanket, but I've used one. It is amazing. I've used my honeys, and what? Amazing. As a federal employee here, it's been a stressful year so far. I'm telling you, I know y'all going through it. Yes. Unpredictable, all over the place. Like I don't even have the words for that shit. I'm like, it's so frustrating, y'all. Like, I'm so sorry that y'all going through that. Like, it's just too much. Latasha said, hey, Rhonda. Hey, if anybody's here for the first time, this is Ashley Burton-Mims, one of my friends. She's so sweet, y'all. But I'm really glad that you're here live in person. I'm telling you, like, we already had some technical issues, and I'm glad we didn't have any because we're not virtual. But we're here talking about burnout. She just went over the definition of burnout. We're just talking about just talking about it. If anybody is interested in potentially, reaching out, her social media, all that stuff is in the description box here. I did pin a comment here in the chat where you can go to her website if you're interested in her services. She is a burnout coach. If somebody is looking to, if you're interested, reach out. If you have questions, she'll be more than happy to answer your questions about, services and stuff like that. I have a question. Yes. What is your question? We can transfer departments after 6 months.
Oh, well, that's
I'm counting down the days till May.
Good.
Okay. I really feel like I was burnt out when I was working downtown LA 2017. And I started.
You were.
Yes.
If you, just for everyone,
if you feel burnt out, you burnt out.
You are.
Yeah. Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry.
So yes. So, okay. So we got a couple more comments. Hey, Shannon, I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you a second ago. I got a 15-minute massage and that helped me. Yes. Hey, Bay, we love you both. Thank you for these tips, Nay and Bay. Oh, we love you too. Hi. Kendall Parker, I don't know who that is, but I love you, Rhonda. You look amazing. This is my friend, Ashley. My question is, how do y'all have beautiful face cards? Shout out to our parents, okay?
Right.
Shout out to my mama, she ain't here. Naima, we love y'all. Love y'all hair. We love you, and we love your hair too. I know you. Yes, thank you. Okay, so 2017, I was burnt out. I hated, like, just like Joy, I transferred jobs. Horrible. Wasn't green on the other side. And the worst part about it is, y'all, people were warning me about going to this company. I left one healthcare company to go to another. But I'm the kind of person to want to have my own experience, because I can't really say, like, was it your work ethic? Where you come, like what was going on? I don't know. So I'm like, I'm gonna have my own experience. I definitely got caught up in making more money for sure. Was traveling downtown LA from Long Beach every day. I had to catch the train. Y'all, I hated the commute. You didn't know what to expect coming home. You know, it was usually people who were professionals going to work, but it was God knows what coming back. You know what I mean? So my nerves were always bad. And I hated my job. I just really hated my job. So what I was doing at that time, I was experiencing anxiety for the first time. That's when I learned how to meditate in 2017. Deepak is my guy. He put me to sleep this morning. I woke up this morning and did a morning meditation, went right back to sleep. So I started getting into Deepak Chopra and into just meditating, controlling my breathing. I used to go for walks. Yo, I would walk for 3 minutes. Yes. Whenever I just found any quick time to just go for a walk, that helped. It reset my body. It helped me get through the day. That's when I also got into podcasts and audiobooks. That's when it started. And I fell in love with them because they were saving me, you know, like literally saving me. And yeah, I would play the same songs over and over again. I started, like I said, getting into podcasts, and I would listen to them consistently because it made me, I guess that felt like a part of escape, kind of.
It is.
It felt like I was escaping like my supervisors.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
You're making a great point. And you and I have talked about this before. One, that's you controlling what you can control, what's within your control.
Yeah.
And going for a walk is such a game changer. I know for me, like that's my preferred mode of exercising. I get a little bit sad in the winter because I'm like, oh, I just want to get up and walk. Well, you have that treadmill.
Yes. I need to get the walking pad's legit. Yeah. It's helpful.
But yeah, Rhonda brings up a good point. Like if you're able to go outside, get a little vitamin D
and the fresh air too.
And the fresh air makes a big difference.
Yeah. And to ground yourself, like to center yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely getting grounding. I love a good audiobook and podcast. Shout out to Bay. Thank you in the comments. But Bay last year had a bold goal of, I think it was 100 books. And I was like, I don't think I can read 100 books. I read over 100 books last year. So I'm going to see if I could keep that momentum going this year. But it's an excellent way. Yes, it's a little bit of escapism. I read everything, all types of genres, but it is a great way to come back or just to have that time for yourself. So
absolutely.
And I'm glad that you recognize that.
I did. You were
able to do that.
I wasn't going to make it. I was going to probably snap on somebody, to be honest with you, like for real. Like I wasn't going to make it. Either I was going to break down or I was going to just explode on somebody. And that's when I really got into Nipsey Hussle. Like Nipsey saved me. I'm not gonna lie. Nipsey saved me. Deepak Chopra. At that time I had listened to Ego Was the Enemy. That book was really powerful for me at the time. Just a lot of things that just saved me at that particular time. Fallon, I'm gonna give you her information. She's great. She hooked my hair up. Bay said, Ashley is my burnout coach and I 1000% recommend. This is my first few months without burnout and it's been life-changing. I have CEO self-care days and they are helping me focus on my own self-care.
I'm so proud of you, babe.
Okay.
You're doing an amazing job.
That's just somebody in here who is just telling you their own experience with Ashley and what she's doing in their life. Because I think sometimes, because when this is what I told you when we talked, I was like, I know a lot of us handle burnout with like, oh, I'm going to just take off on Monday and Tuesday. And then when I get back, 2 days ain't going to help it, y'all. Like, it's too deep. It's too far. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it may feel like because think about it. Think how busy your off days get. You still got to parent. You still got to do all the other things to keep your household afloat, to keep yourself afloat. And it's not like those 2 days are just you doing nothing. Like, there's still plenty to do, even when you're not working. So yeah, that's why I thought it was so important for us to talk about this. And let's see what else we got. I noticed a problem when I started counting down the days until I was 100% vested. Listen to certain songs on replay is so therapeutic. Been out of work for about 6 months. How do I not get into feeling burnt out again? From being out of work? That's a good question.
Yes, it's a great question. We could talk about that a little bit more offline, but I'll give you just one is like, once you recognize that you've been burned out and you're more in that recovery phase, then it's about burnout prevention. So it's those things that Rhonda and I are talking about, building them into your day. I listened to a book or music or podcasts every day. That's how I combat it. So it's figuring out what's best for you and making it part of your routine. Setting healthy boundaries is definitely a big part of it. I remember, Rhonda, when I first started going to therapy and the therapist was like, boundaries, boundaries, boundaries. And I'm like, oh, okay. But it's real. It comes up, right? And when we don't have healthy boundaries, like it shows up and it is debilitating. So that's the short answer, but we could talk more offline about that and come up with some strategies. And then you said something else. Now I've lost my train of thought.
Oh, I'm sorry. Back to me. No. And then let me just acknowledge Eli's comment. I was close to unaliving myself this week, but I'm still here. I'm so glad that you did not do that. So thankful that you're here. And even just sharing with it, honestly, because there may be somebody else that feels the exact same way. I'm really glad that you're still here. And I hope that you have like the things that you need, that they find you, to let you know that you're important and that your work is not done here, your purpose and everything. So I hope that you're able to find some joy and some light and that you're still here. So thank you for sharing that, Eli. Because again, there may be somebody else that feels the same way. Hey, Nisha, Eli, talking about what's going on. One can help get off your chest. Glad you made it to this live tonight. I'm really glad that you made it too, for real. Like, we love you, for real. Got a lot of love for you. We really do. Let me see if I missed any questions. We're good. Okay. Did anybody, I missed a question. Oh, there we go. Burnout leading to exploding is a big one for me. Definitely something that took time to unlearn. Nice. So Jacqueline, if you don't mind, do you mind sharing with us how you were able to unlearn? Like, what did it take for you to unlearn? Because like I had that feeling of like I felt like rage in 2017 because I was so unhappy. Like just that transition, that change of my job, just none of it was worth it. Nothing, the money, the benefits, nothing was worth it. And looking back, I'm so glad that I really feel like I was talking to God a lot more too. And that's how I found other things. But there's so many things that may work better for us than other things. And maybe something that worked for me in 2017 may not work for me now. Yeah. So things change because you change, so, Nisha, thank you for those words of encouragement. Keep holding on, Eli. There's something better for you. Thank you for saying that.
And thank you for being vulnerable enough to share that with us. And I love that everybody in the comments is surrounding you with love and acknowledging and that you're not alone.
Yeah, no, you're not. 100% no.
But the explosion part, that's me. So I know I only talked about one burnout situation, but I've definitely been burned out several times before. And I'm used to be, or like I said, recovering people pleaser and an avoidant. So when we talk about our like attachment styles, so I would just do whatever needed to be done. I was not checking in with myself. And there's a point where our body is like, cool, you keep doing that and it's going to come out. And then when it comes out, it's like a volcano eruption and it's scary. I know I don't like showing up that way,
right?
But that's why it's so important to build this into your daily routine. Like it's not something you could sometimes do. It is critical to have this be part of your daily routine.
So we're talking non-negotiables, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Having non-negotiables, I think, are important with yourself so that you can make sure that you're okay for yourself, because we have everything to give for everybody else. But I mean, what about you? You know,
we can't be last.
No,
you cannot
can't
be last.
You can't put yourself.
So that's why my routine is the beginning of my day. So I'm rolling out the bed, looking for a seat, mind your business. If you see me on the way to school, drop out. That's between me and me. But I come back home and that is my time. I as a single mom, I'm not a single mom anymore, yay. But as a single mom, I would wait till my kid went to sleep. And then that's when my day started. And that was exhausting too, because then it's like, I'm so tired and I'm trying to pile all this stuff into like 10 o'clock at night. Well, she went to bed before that, but you know what I mean? Like trying to pile it on at the end of the day. And I was putting myself last. Now I'm like, absolutely not. This has to be how my day starts. And it sets the foundation for how my day goes. Right. And I can tell when I haven't prioritized that time. Sometimes it's even like, I'm adventurous at heart. I live in a new city. Sometimes it's like taking a different way home from dropping the kids off at school. So there are small changes you can make, but they're imperative to have them in place every day. And Rhonda, you made a good point. This is what I was remembering. What happened, what worked for us before might not work now. So it is trial and error. But don't give up. Like, keep pouring into yourself. Like, it's so important for you and for your mental health and for those that are around you. You're just a more patient person, a more kind person, a more loving person because of it.
Absolutely. I love it. Thinking about those. So Allison said, yes, I practice me moments in the morning as well. Me moments. Absolutely. Just your non-negotiables for the day. Things that get your day out to a great start. Things that just feel like you're filling up your cup before, everyone else is, I think that's important to do for sure. And it's okay to make changes to whatever that is. And whenever you can have those moments. Definitely had to make some big changes, like leaving a better paying job at the time and setting better boundaries and routines that gave me an outlet for the frustration. 100%. Yeah.
And if you guys like affirmations, there are a lot of great websites and books out there that I can put in the comments as well. I have a lot of resources. I know I love affirmations.
Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do, y'all. So if you want the additional resources, I'm gonna update the description box to include the information that Ashley's referring to, so they can have access to it. Okay, so just come back and check this live. Burnout while having mental illnesses was such a painful experience to learn. That loneliness creeps up when I hold it in. So tools like furniture flipping has helped me get out of that feeling. Listen, I can imagine how that feels. And the only time I've ever had that experience was when we went to a rage room. But I understood how, like, I felt so free after that. You don't even realize how much you have pinned up inside of you. So I love that. So furniture flipping as a mech, I love that. I love that. I really do.
And to just piggyback on the burnout while having mental illness is so important too. Like, as someone who has anxiety that can be debilitating at times, this has been a game changer for me to implement these tools in my life as well. So I love that you framed it up that way and you're bringing the awareness to that, Antoinette, and keep flipping that shit.
Keep flipping it. Keep on flipping it for sure. Yeah. Hi, Bunny. Hi, everybody. I appreciate y'all being here. Brushing your teeth in the morning with your left hand can do wonders to the brain. Really? I ain't never heard that before, but I can only imagine.
Okay. I'm gonna try this tomorrow.
This has been such a good conversation.
I know.
Are y'all enjoying the conversation? I feel like y'all are. And again, shout out to Tasha and Fallon for sharing, and everybody that came over from their channel that came to join the live, to join the discussion, to hear the gems that are being dropped. Because listen, I'm telling you, like when you told me about the coaching and everything, I'm like, that makes so much sense. You know what I mean? Like, to have that type of business, especially, and we talked about it, especially now, like the climate of the world, the state of the world is in shambles. And I know that we will make it through, y'all, but we need tools and resources to do it. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
And we have to keep talking about it.
We do have to keep talking about it.
Let's not continue to suffer in silence. I was, like I said, inspired by my own burnout, but also sharing my story and understanding, like, this is a prevalent issue. It's a real issue. Even some of my mentors had shared with me, like, oh, I had to take a leave of absence. And I'm like, what? You never told me that. Like, nobody told me that. I'm in very few rooms with people that looked like me when I was in corporate America. And nobody was telling me, oh, yeah, the microaggressions, the toxic workplace, this weighs heavily on you.
Oh, yeah.
And we had to take a leave of absence and reset. And I was just like, whoa. We need to keep talking about this.
Yeah, we do.
So I love that there's been so many people in the room in this space, and I'm glad that I've been able to share just a little bit. This is just the beginning.
This is the beginning, y'all. So look, see, walking is the best. That's what Judy said. Absolutely. I'm learning that now with pouring more into myself while being a single mom of teenage boys.
Yes.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Shannon, your teenage boys need to be doing more around the house.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, my kiddos too, we're having those conversations. Like, you could be doing more, and also recognizing, like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it's like one less thing that you have to do, and they're 100%. Totally capable of doing it.
Let's see. Fallon said I came a little late, but I truly enjoyed this live, y'all. Thank you so much, Fallon. My mom said I'm loving and appreciate the conversation. Great pointers. Thank you, Mom. Kai said absolutely. I want it to be longer. LOL. Thank you, Kai. Eli said I'm trying that tonight before bed. The topic is right on time. Thank you, Angelique. These conversations are so warranted and necessary, especially now. 100%. That's why I'm like, I was like, we were just like talking. We were just having y'all. So we talk the second Monday of every week. And like, that's our scheduled time to like hop on. We get on Google Meet. So we just talk and catch up. And we were just talking. And I was like, you know what? We got to do something.
Yes.
We got to do something because it's just necessary. Like I feel like I know my people so well. Like I know y'all pretty well. I feel like that, we've been going through it. We went through the pandemic together. We went through a lot of things together, and I just felt like I just wanted to offer some additional information, some insight or resource for those of you that feel like you might need it. And I feel like that Ashley is the perfect person to help you get through what you're going through, or what you're trying to prevent yourself from going through. But it's just like, you don't have to do it alone. I was taking smoke breaks and didn't smoke.
Yes.
Listen. Yes, listen.
Facts.
You guys, please do so and stay positive words to yourself, and brain will absorb the words beautifully. Yep. I'm glad for a team to be here. Let's kids know where we're here for them. Great combos. Law enforcement needs more training on how to properly deal with those suffering with mental illness, health issues. I agree. Lost my brother supernaturally after suffering with mental illness. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that.
Sorry.
Oh man.
That's a whole other.
It is.
Much bigger.
Yeah, this is really just we've only been talking for 56 minutes. And I feel like, again, it's really just the beginning. But like I said, you can check the description box on this video. You'll see all of Ashley's information. She posts on her social media. She's posting like once or twice a week right now.
Oh yeah. So I have a weekly series.
And the name of your business, tell us that too.
Shoot,
sorry, we ain't even got to that. Sorry, y'all. Sorry.
So my business is Emerald and Rose Consulting. And you can find us at emeraldandrose.com. I do a weekly series called Burn Bright Not Out, and it's across all social media platforms. Started on LinkedIn and it's merged into Instagram and Facebook. So I posted today. Today's post is about boundaries, and you'll just get motivational content and tips and tricks similar to the ones that I shared today. But they're not just about workplace. It's about who you are as your whole self.
Yep. So Nisha said, Rhonda, you have always been inspiring and motivating. We absolutely love that about you. Even in your rough patches, you've always been transparent, and that helps. Look, I've gotten to a place where, you know what, like at the end of the day, we all are fighting some kind of battle. We going through something. And I just said this yesterday. I never envisioned myself being somebody that would be in front of the camera. This is not really my thing, but what do I know? I'm not God. And I'm here. And a lot of that was about being vulnerable. I felt really drawn to be vulnerable. And the things that I share, I just think it's important for us to share. Maybe you're not going to share everything, but the things you get to a place, like when I do share, I'm in a place where that thing can't destroy me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm in a place where I've gotten through, the hard parts of it. I've gone to therapy. I've gotten to a great place about that particular thing. And then I can get to a place where I want to share. But vulnerability, number one, I've noticed just as I built so many different relationships over the last year, that's how you connect with people. Yes. That's just how you connect with people. It's one of the greatest things. And you know what? It's not about me you don't have to tell me everything about your life, but for us to connect, there has to be something relatable going on, and maybe I can't relate to everything, but I'm just saying like is there a pulse? You get what I'm saying? Like you don't want to feel like people aren't alive and you're talking to a wall, so vulnerability, I feel like is extremely important. And I just enjoy the community that we have here. And I really knew like this went exactly the way that I thought it would go.
Even better.
Yeah, it did. That's what I'm saying. But I knew it was going to be great because you're great. Like you are. You're really good at what you do, for real. And I'm just really grateful that you took time to come and join the live and that you're sharing your information, your expertise. Thank you so much.
Jackie's question.
Jackie said, what is the difference between a burnout coach and a therapist? Because it sounds like it could be similar. Great question.
Great question.
Great question.
And I'm going to look at my notes so I don't miss anything. But I saw an article about this recently. So I want to make sure that we're very clear and intentional. So coaching is more about strategic guidance, motivation, and accountability. So that's where we'll come up with a strategy. So we've already identified that you're burned out. So we're going to come up with strategies and different boundaries to put in place in order to achieve those goals. So it's definitely more goal oriented and definitely shorter term. Therapy is more like, how do we understand our past experiences, healing from emotional wounds, and then managing those conditions going forward. So it is definitely a deeper dive. And it's, I'll shout out to all the therapists that I've had, is definitely peeling back a lot more layers than like your typical coaching would be. So I hope that's a good
makes sense
surface level definition that helps.
Yeah, I feel like you can move into action a lot quicker as well with a coach. Yeah, yes. You move into action. But, you know, with a therapist, we got to peel back all the layers. We got to get deep. You got to answer the questions. Yeah. You know, with one situation in your life, it could take weeks for you to talk about it in therapy, you know. And so, yeah, with coaching, you jumping in right away in terms of a specific thing that you're experiencing. But, yeah, does anybody else have any other questions? We're about to get ready to wrap it up. This was great. Thank you so much, Ashley, for coming on here.
Anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate this. I really, really do. This maybe we'll do a part 2 with a different angle or just provide some additional information. But I thank you so much. Like, this means a lot to me that you came on here. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah. So I have her website is pinned at the top. And again, guys, if you go and check the description box, you'll see all of her social media information where you can follow, you can get her weekly tips, you can stay connected, all of that. Like, I'm telling you, telling y'all, follow her. Okay. Follow her. And then just also, she's going to give me some resources that I'm also going to add in the description box too. So some books and some articles.
Some books and articles. Okay. So one is, I can just shout out right away because it changed my entire life, was Rest is Resistance by Tricia Hersey. And she just came out with another book at the end of last year. I'm sorry, I'm spacing on the name of the book, but
you said it was called Rest is Resistance?
Yeah. Okay. That book changed my entire outlook, my entire life, and has motivated me to become a burnout coach and to continue to share and support my community as best as I can.
Yes, this is great. Rhonda, you could lose. Rhonda, you can lose a few pounds. Back is very big. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. It always got to be one person. Why? It always got to be one person. It always is. But, you know, I'm not even mad because people like that, I can imagine what your day-to-day life is. And I wish you well. Thank you, Rhonda, Ashley. This was great. Thank you for both of you. I already saved your website, Ashley, to go home to check out later. I got a butterfly tattoo under it. It says, "Love me for who I am" on my back. I love that. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. I love it. Hold on. Let me hide the chooser. Okay. Don't make me cuss. And people just, you know, let's see. Eli, baby, please. Okay. All right. I think we're just about set to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for coming through. And I appreciate you so much for your time, your questions, all of it. And thank you so much for your time and your expertise.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. Give the live a thumbs up if you haven't done so already. And then, you know, it's going to be on the channel. So go back and watch it again if you feel like you missed anything. And again,
share.
Yes, share. Yes. If you feel like this is good for somebody else or something that maybe you feel like somebody in your life is experiencing burnout and you didn't know what to call it, share the live with them so that they can watch and get some more information. All right.
Oh, Rhonda, one more thing, because we always need to end this way, is what's one thing that you're looking forward to doing for yourself this week that's just for you? And this is the same question for the audience as
That's a good one. One thing I look for to do for myself this week.
It's just for you. If you don't have an answer now, that's okay.
No, I have an answer. Okay. I'm going to say that I look forward to my morning routine. Like, when I'm here, I get up and I make my ginger tea and I light a candle or light an incense and just kind of walk around, you know.
I love it.
I love just starting the day, like just being grateful and just my devotion and time with God. Honestly, I really look forward to that because that's for me. And I just feel like, I don't know, it sets the tone for my day.
I love it. Yeah. I love it. So for me, it was coming to Columbus. Columbus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's like my second or whatever, however many homes in this lifetime. But just being around you and all the other ZH ladies, I'm so looking forward to it. Sorry, Antoinette, I didn't let you know I was coming ahead of time. But I knew like I needed this. I really needed this.
Yeah.
And I was so looking forward to this live tonight.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Okay, y'all. Well, if anybody wants to, what is the name of her company again? It's Emerald and Rose. It's Emerald and Rose Consulting. The website is emeraldandrose.com.
Yep.
Okay, so having more me time, that's important in the morning routine and the all-day routine. Just blessed to wake up. I already had a few people reach out and say that they love the conversation. Awesome. Okay, good. So if you think about that question, the question again is,
what are you doing this week that's just for you? Or what are you looking forward to doing this week that's just for you?
I just love lighting my candles and stuff.
Yes,
that just
for
does
the nails
something for
done.
me. Yes, getting your nails done. I love that. And you know what I'm looking forward to? I need to put some oil on my scalp, and I'm gonna put on a podcast while I do it.
Yes.
Love these tips, Rhonda. Pin the website. Yes, so it's Emerald and Rose Consulting, emeraldandrose.com. So you can check out more information. Check the description box so that you can get her social media information, LinkedIn, Instagram, follow along, engage, ask questions, all of that. I'm telling y'all, this is a person y'all want to be connected with. I'm telling you. She's giving you the gems and giving you the tips. All right. And since you guys enjoyed it so much, maybe we'll do it again.
Yeah.
And next time we can do a virtual session. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
absolutely.
Cool. All right. My mom said I'm on my way too. You coming out here? Come on,
Yay.
Mama. Hop on the train and come on down. But thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all for hanging out. I appreciate the questions, your energy, your engagement. I appreciate y'all just being here. Thank you so much. If you haven't given the live a thumbs up, be sure to do so. All right, y'all. So that is it.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oh, that was so fun.
Did you enjoy that?
Yeah.